We're back. It is UFC recap reaction time. Of course, this past weekend we had UFC Fight Night, Muhammad versus Bonfim. Of course, in the Meta Apex, Dana White's second home. It was quite a fun card. Honestly, I enjoyed it. A lot of fun fights, a lot of finishes. Yeah, we're gonna get right into it. Talk about the card, talk about the fights. You know how we do. You know how we do. So, first fight of the night. Irene Carnelossi versus Souza. This one was over quick. I know I always dog on women's fights. I say there's no finishes. I say it's all decisions. This was a finish, and this was a great finish. Souza drops her, I believe, with the right hand, and then as Carnelossi is trying to get up, head kicks her, puts her back down, finishes her all in the first round. Great fight, dude. Great finish. Like I said, that was a good way to start the card. I know I dog on them because they're women's fighters. I do it all the time, but hey, this one was good. This one was good. Great finish, fun fight. Like I said, bro, great way to start the card, low key, because that's what you need. That is what you need to start a card, especially a card with big names on it. There's a lot of big names, I believe, on this card, especially when, of course, when you get into the main card, there's a lot of fun fights, a lot of fun names. So, kind of, a fight that's not going to get looked at on a card like this, a women's prelim opener. Nobody's here to watch that. They get treated to a nice little knockout. So, shout out Souza. Good finish, dude. Good finish, good head kick. I was impressed. We move on. Jesla Chavez versus Yanesi. I want to say it's Yanesi Dubin. This fight was actually very fun. This was Chavez's UFC debut. She was, of course, undefeated going into this fight. And then Dubin only loss, I believe, was a knockout loss, if I remember correctly. I'll look a little bit at the notes I took on this one. I don't remember this one as much, but I do remember enjoying it as it was happening. Yeah, it was it was both of them. A lot of them swinging on the feet, heavy swinging on the feet. But Dubin was struggling to get inside because she was not as long or as tall as Chavez. She did try to wrestle for a little bit, but Chavez was doing very good. She was very patient. She had a good 3-2 on her. She was landing her 3-2 when she was throwing that. I have here that Chavez was shooting takedowns, but not high-level ones. Like, she would get Dubin up against the cage and kind of just try to muscle her and ragdoll her to the ground, or she'd try to like hook the leg and hop her over to the side. So it wasn't a very high-level takedown she was going for, but it was enough to do what she needed to do. Dubin did end up getting her own takedown, I believe, at the end of the third round, smothering her on top. But ultimately, Chavez ended up winning this fight by decision, staying undefeated. Fun little women's flyweight fight again. Of course, I always dog on women's MMA, especially prelims of a fight night. They start with two of them, and they're both pretty good. One's a good finish, and one's a little good back-and-forth fight between these two here. So, hey, that's two good fights to start the card. Two good women's MMA fights to start the card, too. So, what world are we living in? Am I right? We move on. First men's fight of the night, man. Jordan Levitt versus Joe Anderson Brito, bro. Brito puts him out first round submission. Crazy. Was it a ninja choke? It was. It was a ninja choke. Levitt was going for the wrestling early. Brito had very good wrestling defense. He was stuffing his stuff very well. And then I believe he drops Jordan Levitt, or doesn't drop him, but hurts him or rocks him at the very least. Levitt shoots in too far away. Brito sprawls, puts him in a nasty ninja choke, and gets the tap. So when everyone thought there was going to be a finish, if there was a submission finish, it would be on the side of Jordan Levitt, which is what I thought was going to happen. Brito gets it. He gets his own submission. He gets it in round number 1, too. So great performance from Joe Anderson Brito. The Monkey King goes down. He has to tap out in round number 1. And, dude, that's another finish. Another first-round finish, too. Like I said, bro, this card, lots of finishes. A lot of finishes. Wow, that's a lot of finishes on this card. But, no, good one here for Joe Anderson Brito over Jordan Levitt. I personally thought Jordan Levitt was going to win this fight if you watch my predictions. I was going with Jordan Levitt. I thought he was going to get the submission. Ultimately, he gets submitted. MMA is a crazy sport. The hardest sport in the world to predict for things just like that. Now we got Chelsea Chandler versus Priscilla Cochera. This one, again, over. Round number 1. What did she go with an armbar? That's what it was. I was about to say, what was it? Kashira came out hot and heavy. She was throwing heavy shots, trying to knock Chandler out, basically, at the end of the day, trying to knock her out. And then, of course, the one that ends up getting dropped is Priscilla. She's throwing wild. She ends up getting clipped. I want to say it was a right hand. Chandler throws a right hand, drops her. They go to the ground. She ends up finding the arm bar. In round number 1, Chelsea Chandler, I believe she's been gone for a while too, so that was a good little comeback for her to get an armbar too. Moves her up to 7-4 in women's bantamweight in a division that is so dead, a division that needs some new challengers. So hopefully Chelsea Chandler can keep the ball rolling because, bro, let's be real. Women's bantamweight, she can win one more fight and probably get a title shot. Let's be real. So, she can keep that going. She'll be up there quick. 4 fights deep. 3 of them are women's fights. 2 of them are finishes in the women's fights. 3 finishes in total. All 3 of those finishes being in the first round. What a start to a card, bro. This has been... I remember thinking this too. I was like, bro, what a card we are having so far. And it kind of keeps this vibe. They were good fights all night long. I know I've been saying it a lot, but as we go through, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Great fights all night long. And that was just another fun little finisher from Chelsea Chandler. Next fight, though, of the night, we went to the flyweights. We had Edgar Chairez versus Bruno Silva. Chairez, bro, he's nasty. That boy is nasty, man. His striking was very good. Because Bruno Silva has always been a guy that, I think I talked about it in my predictions. If you look at the top-ranked guys at flyweight, if you look at their tracker to the guys they fought, they probably beat Bruno Silva. He's kind of a guy like, hey, you got to prove you can hang with the legit guys. You beat Bruno Silva, and then you'll get a legit guy. It's usually, you beat Bruno Silva, all right, now you can have a fight in the rankings. That's usually what Bruno Silva does. And that's kind of what this was here. Edgar Chairez wants to get into the rankings. All right, beat Bruno Silva, and then we'll give you a guy in the rankings. And he beats him in 4 minutes. He dropped him, I believe, 2 or 3 times. He was so good at using his range and snapping his punches because he's got this awkward, long, lanky, slender man build at flyweight, and he used it well against Silva. Silva didn't look bad on the feet. His jab was very nice. He was working the body pretty well, trying to work that body of the taller, longer guy in Edgar, but ultimately ends up getting caught. And then what's he catch him in? I can't remember. Was it a rear naked? Because he got on the ground and looked very slick once he got to the ground. I should remember what it was. Yes, rear naked choke. It was the first round rear naked choke for Edgar Chairez. Dude, great performance all around. Like I said, he looked good on the feet, drops him, and then goes to the ground and gets a nice little rear naked choke. He's going to be legit at flyweight. There's a lot of fun fights you can do with him at flyweight as well. Very excited. Flyweight used to be a division, man, that used to always look so dead. It used to be, flyweight was dead. Now you got guys like Chairez on the come up. And then we know we got the fun champ Joshua Van up top. We have Tatsuro Taira. We have Manel Kape. We have Kaijo Horiguchi. We have Alejandro Pantoja's up there. Lonnie Kavanaugh's up there. Steve Urseg's back on the climb. Asusama Bayev's up there. We still got old head Brandon Moreno up there. There's fun stuff going on at flyweight right now. So flyweight has had a resurgence. And I think Edgar Chairez is going to play a big part in that for the future. So keep an eye on him. Good win for him over Bruno Silva here. Another first round finish, bro. The trend keeps... It was a quick card. Quick card for this very reason. We move on to, Marcus McGee versus John Giannis, bro. This one was interesting because, again, kind of a drop-off in competition. Not kind of, a huge drop-off. Because, look, bro, he's fighting John Giannis, who I believe going into this fight was 1-1 in the UFC. His fight before that, talked about it in my predictions, two-time UFC undisputed bantamweight champion Peter Yan. The current bantamweight champion is who Marcus McGee fought before John Giannis. Now he's back, and he's fighting John Giannis. It was a fun little striking fight. It was just, McGee, you could just tell he was better. He had more experience. You could tell he's fought better guys. He's trained with better guys. He was just one step ahead the whole time. Giannis didn't back down. He tried to get his licks in when he could, but ultimately it was, I don't want to say a Marcus McGee masterclass, but it was a Marcus McGee comfortable performance. You know what I'm saying? There was never a point where I felt he was in danger of losing this fight at all. So yeah, great work from Marcus McGee, and it was funny because he said his corner in his post-fight press conference, he goes, my corner was telling me to wrestle. They're telling me to wrestle more. He goes, but man, you get a guy like John Giannis that wants to just swing, you kind of just want to stand and swing with him. Hey man, I respect it. Marcus McGee, Very fun to watch. Very under the radar too. I think people forget, man. I think people forget about Marcus McGee all the time. He's a very fun guy to watch. Like I said, he just had to fight Peter Yan before this. It's kind of rough. So he's not even ranked right now. So let's get Marcus McGee back in the rankings. Let's get him a fun ranked fight. Against who? I don't know. They'll match something good for him. There's a lot of fun fights at bantamweight for him. So I'd love to see what they do next with him. And he also said that he's the best skateboarder in the UFC. I don't know who his competition is, so I'm going to roll with it. Best skateboarder in the UFC, Marcus McGee. Let's get it. Excuse me. We move on. The final fight of the prelims, man. Matt Schnell gets knocked out in the first round, bro. There's a bear shit in the woods. I mean, come on. We knew this was going to happen. Alessandro Costa puts out Matt Schnell in the first round via knockout. There's a lot of Matt Schnell at the beginning being twitchy, moving up and down and throwing his crazy, not crazy, but fast. He's trying to put on the pressure and look active, while Costa just waited for his moment. And then, of course, about 2.5 minutes in, he found his moment. Puts out Matt Schnell in the first round. Costa, man, I remember we talked about him before because we did a predictions, and I cannot remember off the top of my head who he beat, but I'm pretty sure he did the same thing. Put the dude out in round number 1, if I do remember correctly. So, again, another guy to watch for Alessandro Costa. Alessandro Costa, bro. That's going to be a fun guy to watch. Dude's got lethal power. Keep an eye out on the boy right there. That's another fun one. But again, another first round finish on this card. Like I said, bro, there was a theme. Guys were getting put out, and gals this time, and gals were getting put out early in the first round. Very fun to watch. Very fun to see. And Alessandro Costa kept that going. And that takes us to the main card. We started with, of course, a first-round finish, bro. Ivo Baranuski versus Junior Tafa. We knew this fight was going to be over in the first round, and let's be real, we all knew that Junior Tafa was going to be on the losing end of this fight. He gets put out a minute and a half into the fight by Ivo Baranuski. What does he catch him with? I honestly can't remember, so let me look at my notes here. Oh, that's right. It was a calf kick. Because Junior Tafa has never checked a calf kick in his life. He eats a few and then gets one big one that puts him down. And then Baranuski, ground and pound, finishes him there in the first round. Pretty dope. I mean, Baranuski did grapple a little more, which I was expecting. Because he's always talked about how good of a grappler he is, but he just never gets to show it. When you got a guy like Junior Tafa, who's really his only weapon is having power, and he sucks at grappling and wrestling, you kind of want to test it a little bit, so he did. But, bro, he chopped up that lead leg quick. Put him down with the lead leg kicks. Quick calf kick. Put him down. Gets the TKO. Baranuski keeps on climbing the ranks. Stays undefeated. 9-0. Or Junior Tafa is now 7-6. Bro has a 7-6 record, and he's still signed to the UFC. What are we doing? What are we doing at light heavyweight? There's got to be better guys out there than Junior Tafa. Let's be real. Come on. UFC, it's time. It's time. You know the meme where he's got these guys' hand on the shoulder. It's time. It's time to let the old Junior Tafa go. Let's let him go. Baranuski keeps on climbing. I guess we can say keeps on climbing the ranks. I mean, he beat Junior Tafa, but hey, we'll give it to him. Baranuski first round knockout over Junior Tafa to start the main card. Again, another first round finish. This fight here, I'm going to rant a little bit. Bryce Mitchell versus Santiago Luna. Bryce Mitchell gets it done. Round 3 submission. Where do I want to start with this? Luna. You shit the bed, brother. You shit the bed. Horrible fight IQ. I picked Santiago Luna to win this fight, and I'm going to tell you why. I know he's a better striker with better power than Bryce Mitchell, and I thought he would be able to knock out Bryce Mitchell. Instead of trying to strike with Bryce Mitchell, he tried to initiate the wrestling with Bryce Mitchell, who's a notoriously good grappler. Don't know why we did that. Don't know why. I believe there's a point he gets on top, and instead of looking for some ground and pound or standing it back up, decides to try his own submission. I believe went for an anaconda or a Darce choke, and then ends up getting put on bottom, and Bryce Mitchell gets on top of him. Horrible fight IQ the whole night from Santiago Luna. I believe if he would have just stuck to the striking, I believe there's a great chance he could have knocked out Bryce Mitchell. He took the fight on short notice, loses his perfect record, but I do believe he beat himself a lot in that fight. I believe there's way better ways to go after that fight than the way he did it. But it's too late now. And then the big thing I want to rant about, Bryce Mitchell himself. I made a video about this, posted on my socials, and I upset a lot of people. I didn't realize there were so many Bryce Mitchell fans out there. Actually, I did know that, but I didn't think they would come at me this hardcore. I said Bryce Mitchell was boring. I said that fight was a boring performance, is what I said. And I'm standing on business. I'm doubling down on what I said. Bryce Mitchell fight style, when he fights like the way he just did, that Santiago Luna fight was incredibly boring. He got on top. He smothered. Didn't look for any ground and pound. The ref was giving him all the time in the world. There was never. I don't think there was ever a point where he's like, "All right, Bryce, show me something. Do something for me." Nothing. It was all Luna trying to get active on the bottom, where Bryce Mitchell just got him in mount, wrapped his legs around him, and just drove his cup into him. He was smudge maxing, bro. Let's be real. He was smudge maxing, and it's cool because it's Bryce Mitchell. Like, really, that's what it is. When other people do this, they get hated on. They are just the number one hated fighter. We hate this guy, blah, blah, blah. But when Bryce Mitchell does it, hey, that's fighting, brother. That's fighting, brother. Because Bryce Mitchell has a wild personality. He wears camo shorts and he praises the Lord and Savior. So it makes it cool when Bryce Mitchell does it. No, that's not how that works. And a lot people were misunderstanding what I'm saying. They're like, bro, you're just hating on Bryce Mitchell. How you hating on Bryce? I'm not hating on Bryce Mitchell as a person. He can preach whatever he wants. Go ahead. He can wear whatever shorts he wants. Okay. Go ahead. He can say whatever he wants. Go ahead. That's not what this is about. I'm talking about the fight style specifically. The way he fought was incredibly boring. Let's be honest. If anyone else fought like that, they're going to get booed out of the building, and they're going to ask the UFC to terminate their contract. That's just how it goes. We all know that's true. That's not a lie. I'm not making anything up. I'm not fibbing. I'm not exaggerating. That is so true. We've seen it happen so many times with so many different fighters. People hate that fight style, but all of a sudden, because Bryce Mitchell does it, it's cool now. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. I don't like that. I hate that people do that stuff. And one thing, too, when I made the video, I said, yeah, I picked Santiago Luna, so it hurt a little bit, to see him lose that way. And someone goes, all my TikTok comments specifically was like, you picked Santiago Luna to beat Bryce Mitchell? Holy casual. Holy casual. It's a casual pick to pick the up-and-coming, undefeated prospect in Santiago Luna over the household name, casual-loving Bryce Mitchell. The casual pick was to pick Bryce Mitchell, which the casuals were correct this time. That's the casual pick. Casuals don't even know who Santiago Luna is, so that made zero sense in its own right. And yeah, I did pick Santiago Luna because I still believe he could knock out Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell is not a good striker. He has a bad chin. He doesn't like pressure. And all he's got is grappling. And it's funny because in the past, I've bet against Bryce Mitchell many times. Against Gene Silva, I was correct. Ilya Taporia, I was correct. Josh Emmett, I was correct. I've picked Bryce Mitchell before. Said Nurmagomedov, I was correct. Kron Gracie, I was correct. This is like the first time in a Bryce Mitchell fight where I got the prediction wrong. Every other time I've gotten it right, him win or lose, I get it right. This was the first time I got it wrong, but all of a sudden I'm a Bryce Mitchell hater and a casual because I picked him to lose Santiago Luna and then I called him boring. Makes no sense, bro. Makes zero sense, but just had to get that one off my chest because people got really upset about that one. And I get it. You love Bryce Mitchell. Whatever, bro. You can love Bryce Mitchell. A lot of people like him. Like I said, this has nothing to do with the message that he spreads. Whatever. That's all up to him. He can say whatever he wants. They give him the platform. Go ahead and speak your mind, brother. But let me speak my mind, too. You guys love Bryce Mitchell. He's all about America and freedom. Freedom of speech. Well, I got freedom of speech to say I think he's boring. I think he's boring. And funny enough, I do believe, too, we're going to see. I do believe, too, that was the last fight on his contract. And you best believe, if the UFC does not bring back Bryce Mitchell, I will be making a video laughing at every single person who said I don't know ball because I called Bryce Mitchell boring. Because if he's so entertaining and he's such a must-have fighter, it's a no-brainer to bring him back, right? Right? So y'all better hope they bring back Bryce Mitchell, because if not, I'm coming back with a vengeance, and I'm raising hell. All right? Anyway, enough of that. Bryce Mitchell. And two, no, not enough of that. Bryce Mitchell gets it done. Buzzer beater. Right at the end. Head and arm. So now if you look at his record, and say, man, another finish for Bryce Mitchell is what it's going to look like. And then you watch the fight, and you're like, oh, dude was trying to get that head and arm for, 3 minutes, and then finally gets it against Santiago Luna. Horrible fight IQ from Luna. I still believe he could have won that fight if he didn't fight like a complete idiot. Bryce Mitchell's boring. Let's move on. This one, bro. Ziam versus Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan gets it done, bro. Shout out Tom Nolan. That was a gritty performance. He made Ziam uncomfortable. Just got up in his face. Was doing great with the wrestling. Took him down multiple times, man. A lot of people weren't picking Tom Nolan. I was not either. I thought Ziam was going to go out there and get the win. I knew Nolan was tough and gritty, but I didn't think he was going... I thought his grittiness and toughness would turn into sloppiness, if that makes sense. And I thought it would get him caught against Ziam, especially like when he's pressuring in for his takedowns and going into the clinch, because Ziam is dangerous in the clinch. He's got nasty knees and elbows. So I thought he might get caught there, but bro was ready. And he gets a decision win over Ziam. The underdog gets it done. Very impressive, man. Great for Tom Nolan. He called out Renato Moicano. Book it. I think Moicano tweeted back and said, "He's some money." So, hey, that's a fight to book. Ziam, it's crazy because, including myself, a lot of people were saying, like, man, this is a step down for Ziam. He should be fighting someone in the rankings. Tom Nolan shut us up, bro. Big respect. Big ups. Big ups, Tom Nolan, bro. Good. Like I said, great performance. 11-1 now. Very excited to see what they do next for him. Like I said, he's gonna get the guy. He's gonna get the rankings fight now that Ziam would have got for winning this fight. So, and like I said, he called out Moicano. Maybe they do the Tom Nolan versus Moicano. I think that's a fun one to book right there. I don't know where Moicano's ranked right now, but he's gonna be in a good ranked spot to fight Tom Nolan. So it would make logical sense. So yeah, book that. I like that. Again, Tom Nolan. There's a guy to follow. There's a guy to watch. Very curious to see what they do with Ziam now. Because, like I said, everyone thought that was a step down. Everyone thought he was the next big prospect at lightweight. What do they do with him now? How do they let him bounce back? Who are they going to give him to bounce back? Very curious to watch both of these guys and see what they do next. But yeah, Tom Nolan, dominant, good-looking decision against Ziam. That's a huge win for his career. The biggest win of his career for sure. Excited to see what he does next. That was the co-main. That gets us into the co-main event, man. Brendan Allen versus Edmund Shabazian. I wanted to be right so bad picking Edmund Shabazian in this fight. I wanted him to come in unranked and beat Brendan Allen, who I believe was number 5 ranked at this fight. He's probably still going to be 5. I don't think beating Edmund Shabazian is going to get you up higher in the rankings, but no, fun fight here. Here's my thing. Brendan Allen was obviously going to be the better grappler, the better wrestler, but he didn't use it until the very end. By the very end, he just took down Edmund Shabazian like with ease right at the end of the third round. But the whole fight was him striking. These two were striking back and forth, and Shabazian did not look bad on the feet. He was so scared to pull the trigger. He was terrified to pull the trigger because he knew he couldn't stop a takedown, which is crazy though because he did stuff. I want to say 2 or 3 in a combined total of rounds 1 and 2. I believe he stuffed like 2 or 3 takedowns. Looked good. Then round 3, Brendan Allen started pouring it on him a little bit more, getting up in his face, making him uncomfortable, putting his back up against the cage, making him on retreat mode. And then, of course, he gets his takedown right at the end. But Brendan Allen was landing great shots of his own. He cut up Edmund Shabazian pretty well. And the clinch was crucial for Brendan Allen. They get in the clinch because what he would do, he'd start landing good combos on Shabazian. Shabazian would duck his head, try to slip, get out of the way, and then he'd shoot in to get into the clinch. And every time he got in the clinch, he was not active enough. Brendan Allen was landing big elbows, big uppercuts, but just great dirty boxing from Brendan Allen to do a lot of damage to Edmund Shabazian. And gets himself a good win. Like I said, it was. I respect Brendan Allen so much for doing this fight because he did not have to do this fight. He just came off of beating Rainer de Ritter in a fight that everyone thought he was going to lose. He beats de Ritter, I believe on short notice as well, because someone else was supposed to fight de Ritter, and I can't remember who it was. Was it Barajo? That could be wrong. I don't know. But it was short notice for Brendan Allen. He comes in, beats de Ritter when everyone thought he was going to lose. He's like ranked top 5. Everyone was literally thinking a Dricus du Plessis fight was next for him. Instead, he gets unranked Edmund Shabazian, takes the fight, goes out there, and doesn't grapple and wrestle like everyone thought he could easily, which I still believe he easily could do to win that fight. Instead, he stayed on the feet and tried to strike with Shabazian and outstruck Shabazian, that guy that is a very solid kickboxer. So, big respect to Brendan Allen for winning that fight. He called for a title shot next. He said he wants Strickland. Strickland is a training partner of Edmund Shabazian, was in the corner of Shabazian. Brendan Allen said Shabazian's a better version of Sean Strickland. He goes, so give me Sean Strickland. I want that rematch because I have fought before. That Strickland won. I don't remember how many years ago now that was. It was a couple years ago now. And then, so he wants the rematch. He wants the title shot. I don't know about that, brother. I don't know what they're going to do at middleweight because You got to wonder what's Hamzat doing. Is he going up to light heavyweight? Is he staying at middleweight? Because he says at middleweight, I could see them obviously doing Hamzat Strickland 2. That Nazareth-Imavov fight has been sitting there forever. You could do Strickland-Imavov 2. That's there. I could see them not even doing, for at one point anyway, I'll get to why, not anymore. But at one point, I could have saw them doing DDP Strickland 3 because Strickland's a champ now. So I could have saw that at one point as well. Brendan Allen, though, has thrown his name up there in the hat now. So that is very interesting. But the reason it wouldn't be Drickus now because we've been hearing stuff about it. It hasn't been confirmed. But Brendan Allen kind of confirmed it in the post-fight press conference that DDP will be fighting Kamaru Usman next at 185. I just made a video on that on my socials, Showtime.tv04. Go check it out. Instagram and TikTok. But no, that's if that's next, which like I said, Brendan Allen's kind of spoiled it, so I do believe that's next. Like it seems logical. They just everything but an announcement because Drickus has been talking like, yeah, I got a fight coming up. He goes, announcement next week. Next week was like 4 months ago, bro. Like what are we doing? Like go ahead and get the fight out. But no, anyway, that fight would be fun. DDP and Usman. I would love to see that. Usman's second fight at middleweight. His last fight was, of course, short notice against Hamzat, where he got dominated in round 1 and then made a crazy comeback in rounds 2 and 3. Obviously did not win the fight, though, but looked a lot better in rounds 2 and 3. Yeah, so I'm curious to see what they do there. Brendan Allen, they're like, what's next for him? He could try to wait it out. I could see him, if they do Usman versus DDP, maybe do Brendan Allen versus the winner of Usman and DDP or something like that. We got Kyle Barajo was supposed to fight Joe Pyfer, I believe, was a big thing. And then Kyle Barajo had to pull out and got hurt, so Barajo is probably going to be on the shelf for a minute. So maybe, do you do a Joe Pyfer and a Brendan Allen? I don't know. Joe Pyfer seems to want to fight soon. So, like, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do at middleweight right now. So, Brendan Allen will find his place in the shuffle at middleweight for sure. Big respects to Edmund Shabazian for stepping in. That was the biggest fight of his career. And he looked good. Just ultimately, I feel if he would have pulled the trigger, there was a better chance of him winning. He seemed too scared in there, too lackadaisical, too cautious. Sometimes you got to let it go. You got to let it go, brother. Especially in the biggest fight of your career, man. You got to lay it all on the line. But, hey, good win for Brendan Allen. Gets it done. Decision win over Edmund Shabazian in the co-main event. But, of course, that took us to the main event, bro. Gabriel Bonfim defeats Belal Muhammad 50-45 in the main event. I did not see this one coming. A lot of people were picking Belal to show levels, to show that he's still good, to show that he's not washed. He's going to have everybody remember the name. That did not happen. This dude got beat up by Gabriel Bonfim. It was rough, man. It was rough to watch because like I said, I thought Belal was going to win. Just because it was kind of one of those scenarios that reminded me vaguely of Arnold Allen versus Melky Costa in the idea of going up to the fight. You got the young up-and-comer who hasn't really beaten anyone too highly leveled against the guy that's the older guy that's on a losing. He's losing. He's coming off of a loss, but he's still legit. Like, you're still like, all right, this guy still got some skill. He's going to show levels here. And Arnold Allen did do that successfully. Belal Muhammad did not. Gabriel Bonfim, man, put it on him. Landed great combinations, did some damage. Belal can take a beating. And he was staying in there, man. He was throwing wild shots. He was throwing heavy. It's this new fight style I've seen from Belal a lot lately, doing a lot more striking. I don't remember how many takedowns. Oh, it'll tell me right here. He was 0 for 2. He only shot 2 takedowns. Only tried for 2 takedowns on Gabriel Bonfim, which is crazy, in a 5-round fight. Only 5 takedown sets from Belal. He's been doing this new style ever since the JDM fight. He's been doing less wrestling and more striking, and ever since he's done that, he's 0-3. So, Belal, let's weigh the pros and cons here. Let's get back to that wrestling, brother. Let's get that going again. Did it hurt you that bad when everybody said that you were boring for the wrestling? Hey, man, winning's winning. If you want to get back to your winning ways, you got to start wrestling again, especially at welterweight, which is a stacked division, because now you got Bonfim up there. So you got Bonfim who's looking good. You got Aroslav Amosov's looking good. You got, of course, Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, Ian Gary's up there still. Of course, Islam's the champ there at 170. Sean Brady just dominated Joaquin Buckley. There's so much going on at 170. Too bad Islam fights once a year. Ruins it all for everybody. But, no, for real, though, end of the day, dominant, surprising, impressive performance from Gabriel Bonfim to defeat former welterweight. Did he say former? former welterweight champion Belal Muhammad. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. And yeah, that was UFC Fight Night Muhammad versus Bonfim. Like I said, very fun card. Dana's mom's a fun card. A lot of finishes, a lot of first round finishes too, man. Very impressive. Very entertaining. But now that it's over, you know what's next? UFC Freedom 250 is next. I cannot wait for that, bro. That'll be my next predictions video. Will be UFC Freedom 250, which I did do predictions way back when the fights first got announced. Obviously, I'm going to redo them, because they might have changed a little bit. And back then, the Josh Hokett Derek Lewis fight wasn't on there. Excuse me. So I gotta break that fight down, predict that one, and tell you why my boy Josh Hokett's gonna knock out Derek Lewis. So yeah, I can't wait to do a prediction and breakdown on that. That's going to be so fun. That fight's, the 14th? Whatever Sunday is. I believe that's the 14th. Very excited for that card to do breakdowns and predictions on that. Very excited to do the recap on that as well, man. Oh, Ilya Gaethje, Pereira, Cyril Gane. That's going to be so fun. We got Amin Zahabi and Sean O'Malley. Michael Chandler's going to get knocked out by Rufi. All right. I'm giving away too much. Giving away too much of my predictions, but that'll be what's next, so keep an eye out for that. I just filmed a very, very fun new type of video. I hinted at interviews in the past while I did my first one yesterday. It'll come out, I don't know when, because I want to try. I don't do like any editing on these videos because it's just me sitting and talking to a camera, but I like to do more editing, so I'm going to try to play around with some editing stuff on the interview. But it was a very fun interview, and I can't wait to drop it and can't wait for everybody to see it. I think you guys will love it. But yeah, that's a lot of things to look forward to. But of course, the next thing on the horizon is, of course, UFC Freedom 250. Cannot wait for that on the White House lawn. Donald Trump will be there, right on my lawn. They're fighting on my house. I said, wow, that's my lawn. So I'm very excited to watch that. Cannot wait. Let me guys know what you thought of this card, because I thought it was very good. The matchups lived up to the hype for sure, so let me know what you guys thought of it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to follow my social medias, they'll be linked in the in the description. But of course, as always, it's showtime.tv04 on Instagram and TikTok for short form content. Same thing is here on YouTube. If you want to follow my personal Instagram page, that's i.am_ConnorSmith. Again, this stuff will be in the description. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, that being the predictions for UFC Freedom 250, baby. UFC White House on the White House lawn. I am hype. Let's go. I will see you then.